So in terms of the data that we've been working on for the past several months, this is very brief, and I have to say that December to March is a difficult timeframe on which to report productivity, given our developers also need a break towards the end of December for the holidays. So we have, I think this is 8 studies that were released between December and March, just noting kind of the time off that many folks had between the end of December and early January. So it's not typically indicative of normal release cycles from a quarterly aspect, but a lot of data was released, and you can see kind of the span across multiple programs, including some of which I mentioned earlier. And notably, we have a division of lung disease program called LungMap that's also been ingested. It's one of the studies from LungMap of many others that are in the queue for ingest as well. But I will note that Biodata Catalyst does not have a backlog of studies that are ready for ingest that are not being actively worked on. So anything that's ready is queued up for release as soon as we're aware that it's ready. So of the studies that are ready, everything's queued up for release in the next 2 months. And as others come through in terms of individuals who want to share their data on Biodata Catalyst, once that data is ready, it's set up for release. And so it's a pretty relatively straightforward turnaround time. And we're really looking to help support our researchers in meeting the requirements of the NHL or the NIH Final Policy for Data Management and Sharing, of which there is an NHLBI supplement available for review on the NHLBI website. And that does apply primarily to studies that were funded after May of 2023 for NHLBI. But if you have questions on whether the policy applies to you, we'd encourage you to interact with your program officers, program officials, so that you're clear on where things are. But regardless, we are seeing that many programs that may have existed prior to that date are already working towards compliance with the policy proactively. And so we really appreciate that and look forward to being able to support others as they want to share their data in Biodata Catalyst. So there are multiple ways to see what's been ingested and available in Biodata Catalyst. And these are 2 openly available ways, so you don't need to log in or anything to go and browse the data. So this is through the Biodata Catalyst powered by Gen 3 study discovery page. The link's at the top here. But you can browse studies here by multiple parameters, including accession or study names, or just typing in, like heart or lung, and you can see what's available. I will note that the number here that's on this screenshot that says 176 studies is reflecting the multiple consent groups that might exist for a given study. And so, for example, our Framingham cohort has at least 4 consent groups. And so that number is reflecting Framingham consent groups as, at least 4 different studies. So just to be clear on that why that number is slightly higher than what's actually represented in terms of unique studies in Biodata Catalyst. And then you have Open Picture, which Emily talked about briefly at the beginning of the session. And the link to Open Picture is available here, also available without login, and you're able to browse Biodata Catalyst powered by Picture to determine what kinds of phenotypes might be available to power different types of analyses or algorithm development, workflow development in the ecosystem. So this is another really nice feature of Biodata Catalyst to help folks understand what might be available and what could power their study, or help define what data might need to be requested for access to conduct a study.